Hey guys, it's Jeff from Patriot Training Center. So in this video today, we're going to talk about an article I wrote about red dots and specifically about running a pistol mounted optic on your pistol. So we're talking about mounting optics on our pistol, and in an article I wrote a few months ago, I had a term in there that I used called the Optic Ready Fallacy. So I'm going to explain what I mean by that in this video. So when you go to the store and you're shopping for a gun, these days it's not uncommon for, regardless of whatever make or model it might be, for that pistol to be an optic ready model. And I call that a fallacy for a couple of reasons. Number one, let's understand what an optic ready pistol is. So let's use a very common one, for example, the Glock 19 MOS, which stands for the Glock Modular Optic System. So what that is that they have pre-cut that slide from the factory to accept many of the red dot options that are out there on the market today. The key word in that statement is accept. So how does it accept it? In the case of the Glock MOS and most of these other optic ready pistols, it means accept it by you take a plate and you mount the plate to the slide of the gun, and then you mount the optic to the plate that's mounted to the gun. So the problem with that is you got what we call plate stacking. So that gun has got 4 points of failure. What I mean by that is the 2 points of failure that are screwing the plate into the slide, and the 2 screws that are screwing the optic onto the plate that's mounted on the slide. Another issue with that is it raises the height of the optic and gets it that much higher over the bore. So this is a slide off of my carry gun, actually, my Glock 45. I have a Holosun EPS on here. This gun was actually milled to accept this slide. And if you look at it, and if we can get up close enough there, we'll see that this people that milled this for me actually milled this slide to fit this very optic, meaning it's a very tight pocket and it sits in there very tight, and it only takes 2 screws that are drilled and tapped in there for this optic. So it only has 2 screws instead of 4 with the plate that's holding it to the slide. So this is the ideal way to go. All right, so with a direct milled, and particularly with this Holosun EPS, these are the traditional height sights. These are Ameriglo hackathorns for the Glock pistol, and they actually still provide backup iron sights in the event that this optic was to fail. And I don't have to buy any special suppressor height sights or anything like that. And that's a lot to do with the design of the optic itself, because this optic has a very small housing right here that allows for that. But if I were to mount this on a Glock MOS, which would need a plate to sit underneath it to attach to the slide and to attach the optic to the plate, it would sit up too high for that, and I'd have to change out the sights. So that's one aspect of it. But the problem is, when we are looking at those optic ready slides and we're having to buy all those plates, and that plate stacking effect, which raises the optic up over the bore even that much more, and it creates those extra points of failure, can cause the dot to either fly off or to lose zero and shift and things like that. So if you're going to go the route of an optic ready pistol, there's some work that needs to be done on our end before we do that. Number one, depending on what type of pistol it is and what type of optic it is that we're wanting to mount on that optic ready pistol, we need to ensure that we get a very good plate from a reputable manufacturer to use to mount this optic to that optic ready gun. So there's a few companies out there that do that. One that I'm really liking right now that I have on a couple of Smith & Wesson M&P optic ready models is the Calculated Kinetics. They have a plate that they sell on their website, Calculated Kinetics. It's called a dog tag plate, and it's a very robust plate, and I really like it. It does a really good job, and it comes with a really good set of screws that allows us to really get that optic mounted down into that optic ready slide. And what it does is, because they have to cut that pocket to fit all these different optics, it creates space in there. So these plates that we're getting have to fill that space to keep the optic from slamming back and forth even more than it already does. Another good company out there, particularly if you're running a Glock, is Forward Controls Design. Forward Controls Design. Outstanding company with an outstanding owner that works very hard to make sure the products are where they need to be. They make optic plates for a lot of different manufacturers. They make them for Glock, they make them for Smith, they make them for HK and a couple more models. They make them for the RMR, the SRO, the Aimpoint Acro and things like that. So Forward Controls Design is another excellent choice for an aftermarket plate. The other one is C&H Precision. They're probably the best known. They make optic mounting plates for about everything out there in every different gun. So the thing is, if you're going to get an optic ready gun, that mounting plate is going to be absolutely crucial to the success of that optic on that pistol. There is a couple of exceptions out there. Holosun, which makes this optics on my gun here, has a series of optics called the SCS. So they make those SCS optics to actually fit the footprint of the Optic Ready slide. For example, if you buy the Glock 19 or Glock 45 MOS and you buy the Holosun SCS MOS, that optic will actually mount to the slide of that MOS gun and screw in with only 2 screws without the need for a mounting plate. One drawback to that optic is it only comes in the color of green and it doesn't have a replaceable battery. So optic colors matter. So just another heads up for that if you're new to it. Everybody's eyes are different. What I see may not be what someone else sees and vice versa. So if the green is the only option, that rules that one out for me personally, because my eyes see green so well that optic blooms really large and distracts me as I shoot. So I have to have reds. That rules out the SCS. So if you're new to it, you need to test all this stuff out. Go to a range that allows you to rent guns, or if you have friends that have these, go check them out. But at the end of the day, this video is about the Optic Ready Fallacy, and that term is just what I chose because I wanted to make sure that everybody understood that it's not as simple as buying an optic ready gun, buying an optic and just putting it on there and being done. There's a lot of work on our end that we have to do to ensure that that optic is mounted properly, that it runs properly, and it doesn't fail us, especially when we need it. So here at Patriot Training Center, we have classes going on twice a month, sometimes more. We've got a new Optic Ready class that's coming out very soon. We're doing one the end of next month. I think it's already full, but we're going to be doing more of those. So if you're interested in that, you're new to it, or you just want to learn how to run your optic, come see us for that class. I think you'll really enjoy it and get a lot out of it. We hope to see you here soon.